appear out of nowhere. It's the supercar scene. I bet you never thought you'd see cacti in Bangkok. Endless gridlock traffic.
Why should expats choose Bangkok? I recently had a trip down to Bangkok. I wondered, what could I talk about when it comes to reasons as to why you would pick Bangkok? And the first reason is the big city lifestyle. If you're somebody that you like to live in a mega city like Los Angeles or New York City, you're used to living in places like London, the primary city that will cater to that big city lifestyle for you will be Bangkok. It's a city with a population in the metro area of about 18 million people. The city stretches and stretches and goes far into the distance. They have all of the big city amenities that you can think of. They have a variety of neighborhoods that you can choose from, dozens of shopping malls, tens of thousands of restaurants, night markets, grocery stores, services of every kind, massage shops, haircuts, 7-Eleven stores, all kinds of conveniences and services that you'll be looking for as an expat. You also have things like public transportation that's fantastic, the BTS system, the MRT system, the bus system, the boat canal system, motorbike taxis, regular taxis, short vans like commuter vans. I've tried every single one of them and they're all great options to choose from. If you're a sports kind of person, you've got all kinds of gyms throughout the city, not just Muay Thai, but also standard fitness. For those of you who want to study, I actually took a lesson myself 4 years ago in Bangkok and I loved it. I mean, it really pushed me to the limit and I'd be happy to go back in the future to study Muay Thai because I just find it so enjoyable. I ain't getting any younger, as you can tell by my gray hairs. Studying Muay Thai would be a great way to stay in shape. If you're a foreigner, they're gonna go easy on you. They're gonna take one look at somebody like me and realize, this guy ain't gonna be going pro anytime soon. In terms of a big city lifestyle, if you're looking for that mega city feeling, I think that Bangkok is your best bet. It's gonna have the sort of hyper-developed feel of Singapore, especially in the city center. You're gonna be able to have all the convenience. The way I see it, in Bangkok, you can have anything that money can buy. This really is the strongest point as to why you should choose Bangkok, is that you love big cities and that you love everything that they can provide for you. Number 2 is gonna be healthcare needs. For some of us, we have various ailments, we have medical conditions, perhaps dental conditions, and we need access to different kinds of professionals and hospitals. Personally, I was treated at Vejthani Hospital in the Bangkapi neighborhood. Everything went great. I didn't have Thai health insurance at the time. The service was impeccable. The price was really good. You're looking for that specialized healthcare. You want a variety of service providers that not only have access to English speaking, which all the professionals I have spoken and worked with have spoken great English. All of the doctors that I've seen here have been excellent. Maybe you want to see different kinds of specialists, or maybe you want a certain kind of professional that maybe you've read about online or you've had a friend recommend to you. In many cases, Bangkok is going to offer you the most variety. I have a buddy, Pak, and I hope to interview him at some point. He actually has a hair transplant clinic in North Bangkok near Dam Muang, and he's just an example of a buddy of mine that he works in Bangkok. I think he's really good at what he does. His reviews are all fantastic. That's something to think about. You even have some resort style hospitals in Bangkok where you go in and everything is just hyper modern and very, very clean. They're using the latest technologies and it's another world coming from the US. If you are an expat that does have healthcare as one of your top priorities, I'd recommend reaching out to some of these hospitals, perhaps emailing them about some of your questions or concerns. I'd also take a look at the reviews. I have rated Vegtani really, really highly. I feel like it's a really great experience, but you may find that you're staying in a different part of the city and that's going to be kind of far from where you're located. So definitely do some research. If you pick some priority neighborhoods that you want to live in or even just visit, spend time in, maybe go for a month, perhaps looking up hospitals in that neighborhood will also be a valuable direction for you to look in terms of meeting your healthcare concerns. The next tip I have for you, the third point in why expats should choose Bangkok, is international food. If you are somebody that is a foodie like I am, you want to try food from all over the world. Sometimes you miss food from your home country, like sometimes I do miss American food. In Bangkok, you have that. You have every single kind of cuisine you can imagine. 3 years ago, I visited Peru. We are on the opposite side of the planet, 12 hours ahead of them time zone wise. This past weekend, I was in Bangkok visiting some friends and we decided to go have some Peruvian food. That's just an example of a place that is extraordinarily far away from Bangkok, but you also have plenty of European cuisine. You have food from every European country that I could think of, all over Asia. It has that international food scene. If you like pizza, hamburgers, different kinds of American foods, you're gonna be able to have that in Bangkok in loads of supply. Certain ones that may be farther away, you're going to have maybe a little bit fewer options. I spoke with the owner of the Peruvian restaurant and he said there's only him and one other Peruvian restaurant in Bangkok. If you are coming from Latin America, you may struggle a little bit to find 2 or 3 dozen options. All of the popular cuisines have at least one outpost in Bangkok that you'll be able to go and enjoy, and you won't feel like you're missing out on that while you're outside of your home country or potentially halfway around the world. Now, I'll add a caveat to that. If you are going to Bangkok and perhaps you are not as price conscious, then it won't be an issue, but you may very well pay a premium compared to what you're paying in your home country for that kind of food. I'm not going to say it happens with every cuisine, and certainly Thai food is delicious, it has a huge variety, and is very accessible. But if you want a certain niche dish that is perhaps time consuming to make, maybe it uses a lot of imported ingredients, that may cost you a bit. But if it's a special occasion kind of thing, no worries, right? If it's something where you're not having it every day, you want to have maybe half the time you're going to have Thai food and half the time you're going to have international cuisine, Bangkok is the place for that. Next time I go to Bangkok, I am planning on my friends and I going to a Portuguese restaurant because they've never had Portuguese food. I went to Portugal about 1 year ago. The food was amazing. The food was just amazing in Portugal, and I've been craving it ever since. And Bangkok offers that. Bangkok is going to give me an option. So that's number 3. The number 3 reason that expats should choose Bangkok is that they're looking for a large variety of cuisine. They want that international food scene. They want to be able to travel around the world without leaving the city. Number 4 is public transportation. For those of you who don't know, I'm not personally a fan of riding a motorbike unless in some instances I'm riding on the back with an experienced Thai driver, but even that's really rare for me. I'm just not a fan. I have some safety concerns about a motorbike. I didn't ride motorbikes growing up. When I first came to Thailand, I tried to ride and it was just so awkward. I know if I put more time into it, I could learn better. Most of my Thai friends have cars. They do feel like it's worth the investment to have a car. If you're coming here as an expat, a sort of medium-term person, you may not want to buy a car. You may not miss driving in your home country. You may just not want to deal with the registration and having to purchase fuel and having a garage and all of that. In which case, number 4 is that you will find that Bangkok has a variety of public transit options. If you're somebody that you don't want to be driving around, you don't want to have a personal vehicle, assuming that you're in the city center or that you're in a somewhat inside neighborhood, you're going to have tons of options. At least with the BTS and I think MRT as well, they are consistently adding new stations. When I went to go to immigration a few months ago, the station was incomplete. On this most recent visit, I could actually take the BTS to right outside of immigration. Understand that they're continuing to expand the public transportation in Bangkok, and if you're somebody that maybe you struggle with mobility issues or you just don't want to try to fool with getting a vehicle and handling all that, then you're not going to feel out of place, especially in the city center. If you're looking at neighborhoods like Tongla, Ari, or Chinatown, Asok, Hoi Kwang, there's a lot of neighborhoods where you're not going to have a personal vehicle, and you will have that sense of like, okay, I'm going to leave it to the locals who have experience with these roads, or I just walk. I mean, if you're in the city center, especially in Bangkok, you could just walk around. You don't always necessarily have to use public transport if it's for certain things that you can find within your neighborhood. I'm not going to say you won't use them because you'll probably want to do some exploring, but it's a situation where it's not going to be like being in rural Thailand where you have to have a vehicle, that you don't have the variety of transport options, that you really need to budget for having a personal vehicle as opposed to being able to rely on public transportation. I've also personally found public transportation to be quite affordable, especially relative to coming from the San Francisco Bay Area. Of course, that place is super expensive, but in Bangkok, there are a variety of options. If you're the expat that you need public transportation, it's a great reason as to why you should choose Bangkok. Number 5, this is going to be for business. If you are looking to do some kind of business in Thailand, I'm not going to get into the legal side of that. I'm not a lawyer by any means. You'll want to talk to a lawyer if you want to get established in business. But Bangkok is the place to do it. If you're an expat and you get transferred to Thailand for an international company, you're likely going to be based in Bangkok. That's where a lot of international businesses are based. That's where a lot of big office buildings are. And also, if you're perhaps married to a local, you want to establish a business in their name, I think Bangkok is a popular choice. I know of one guy that owned a hostel with his wife. If you are looking to start a business of some kind and you want the largest customer base possible, then you've got Bangkok, right? It's a city of 18 million people. There's tons and tons of people that are coming to Bangkok on holiday, looking to enjoy themselves on vacation. That's going to be the hub for business in the country. With expats that are looking to teach English, Bangkok is going to have tons and tons of schools. The standards are going to be a bit higher because it's more competitive. More people want to live in Bangkok, but that is something else to be aware of, that if you are looking to come to Thailand and do business, Bangkok seems to be one of the most popular cities for that purpose. I have found a variety of interesting business owners in Bangkok, and I think that they are attracted to that big city lifestyle, being able to have lots and lots of potential customers, get a variety of customers too, right? If you're in your home country and you're not in a mega city like Bangkok, you may not necessarily always have the opportunities to do business with people from around the world. I think the internet's changed that a lot, but even so, Bangkok seems to be the business hub and capital of Thailand. So I hope these 5 reasons have been helpful for you. Let me know what you think down in the comments if these have been helpful. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. It's free to do so, and we'll see you next time.